The colony ship moved through space like a silver bird. Inside, families slept in their rooms. Children dreamed about their new home. Captain Hansel sat in his chair watching the stars. Everything was quiet. Everything was peaceful. Then the alarms screamed, red lights flashed everywhere. The crew jumped from their seats. Hansel's heart pounded in his chest. He looked at the main screen. 5 dark ships appeared in front of them. They were big and covered with weapons. Hansel knew those ships. Everyone knew those ships. Vexorian war cruisers. Open communication, Hansel said. His voice was calm, but his hands shook. A face filled the screen. It was not human. The creature had 4 eyes and green skin that looked like old leather. Its mouth opened, showing sharp teeth. Human ship. You entered our space. This is against our law. Stop your engines now. Hansel stood up. There must be a mistake. Our maps show this area is open to everyone. We are just a colony ship. We have families here, children. Your maps are wrong. This is Vexorian territory. Stop now or we will stop you. Hansel looked at his crew. They stared back with wide eyes. He had no weapons to fight. No shields to protect them. He had only one choice. Stop the engines, he ordered quietly. The ship stopped moving. The 5 Vexorian cruisers surrounded them. One moved closer. A long tube stretched out and attached to their airlock. In the playroom, 8-year-old Jiwoo laughed with her friends. She had long black hair and a ponytail. Her father worked with the ship's engines. He always said she was smart like him. Catch this. Daeun threw a floating ball. She was 7 years old with bright eyes and a big smile. Tae-young sat in the corner reading. He was 10 and wanted to be a doctor. His mother said he was always helping others. The lights went out for a second, then came back on. The children stopped playing. What happened? Taeyoung grabbed Jiwoo's hand. A voice came from the speakers. It was Captain Hansel. Everyone stay calm. We have been stopped for inspection. Please go to your rooms, but his voice did not sound calm. It sounded scared. The metal door of the airlock opened. Heavy boots hit the floor. Soldiers in black armor poured into the ship. They carried glowing blue weapons. Their 4 eyes looked at everything. A woman with gray hair ran to meet them. Her name was Kyung-mi. She was a diplomat. She knew how to talk to aliens. Welcome. I am Ambassador Kyung-mi. How can we help you? She smiled and held out her empty hands. The lead soldier pushed past her. Bring everyone to the cargo bay, now. Of course. But please, we have children aboard. They will be frightened. Can we, now? The soldier's weapon hummed with power. The crew had no choice. They woke sleeping families. Parents carried small children. Everyone walked to the cargo bay. Fear spread through the ship like cold water. Jiwoo held her father's hand tight. His name was Junho. He was an engineer who fixed things. Dad, what is happening? Junho squeezed her hand. Do not worry, little bird. It is just a mistake. We will fix it. But in the cargo bay, something terrible happened. The Vexorian soldiers started separating people. Adults on one side. Children on the other side. No. What are you doing? A mother screamed as soldiers took her son. Dad, Jiwoo cried when a Vexorian grabbed her arm. His grip was tight and cold. Let her go. Junho tried to reach his daughter. 3 soldiers blocked him with their weapons. Tae-young found himself pushed into a group of children. He counted them quickly. 12 kids, all between 6 and 11 years old. Daeun was crying. A small boy screamed for his mother. Tae-young took a deep breath. Someone needed to stay calm. He would be that someone. It is okay, he said quietly. Stay together. Do not fight them. The Vexorian commander watched everything. His name was Velthar. He looked pleased with the fear he caused. Captain Hansel pushed through the crowd. What are you doing? These are children. You have no right. We have every right, Velthar said. You broke our law. These young ones will stay with us until your government pays us and says sorry. Sorry? For what? We are just families traveling to a new home. You entered Vexorian space. That is the crime. Velthar pointed at the children. Take them to the transport ship. Ambassador Kyung-mi stepped forward. Commander, please. The Galactic Council has rules about children. You cannot. The Council does not rule here. We do. Velthar's 4 eyes focused on her. The young ones will be held at Station Krell 9. When your government does what we ask, they will be returned. Do not resist or they will be hurt. The soldiers moved the children toward the airlock. Parents screamed and tried to follow. More soldiers formed a wall with their weapons pointed. Jiwoo looked back at her father. Tears ran down her face. "Dad, I will come for you," Junho shouted over the noise. "I promise. I will find you." Tae-young kept the younger children close as the soldiers pushed them through the cold tube. His heart beat fast, but he kept his face calm. The little ones needed someone to be brave. The Vexorian transport ship was dark and cold inside. It smelled like metal and chemicals. The soldiers pushed the 12 children into a room with hard metal benches. Daeun held Jiwoo's hand tight. "I want my mom." "Me too," Jiwoo whispered. But she remembered what her father taught her. When something breaks, you figure out how to fix it. She would figure this out somehow. On the colony ship, Captain Hansol worked fast at his computer. Ambassador Kyung-mi stood beside him. "They are leaving," an officer said. "Taking the children away." "Not for long," Hansol said. His fingers typed code into the computer. "I am sending a message to Earth. Secret codes. Military channels, and what will you tell them?" Kyung-mi asked. Hansol's eyes looked hard as stone. "The truth. The Vexorians took our children, and they do not know what they have done." He pressed the final button. The message shot into space faster than light. Racing toward Earth, racing toward home, racing toward help. In the transport ship, Tae-young counted the children again. 12. All here. All alive. He looked at Jiwoo. She looked back and nodded. They did not need words. They understood each other. They would survive. They would stay together. And help would come somehow. The transport ship jumped into hyperspace. It carried 12 human children toward an alien prison. Behind them, the colony ship hung in space surrounded by Vexorian warships. But far away on a blue planet called Earth, Hansol's message arrived. And everything was about to change. Station Krell 9 floated in the darkness like a metal prison. It was built to hold dangerous criminals, killers, pirates, evil beings. The station had no windows. No light from outside, no warmth. It was made to break people's hope. The transport ship connected with a loud bang. The children jumped at the sound. Jiwoo held Daeun's hand tight. The little girl had stopped crying, but her eyes were still red. Around them, 10 other children huddled together like scared rabbits. Tae-young stood near the door. His legs shook, but he stood tall. If he looked scared, the others would panic. He had to be strong for them. The door opened with a hiss. A big Vexorian in a black uniform stood there. He was bigger than the other soldiers. His 4 eyes looked at them like they were garbage. "Move, 1 line. No talking." The children walked out into a gray hallway. Everything was metal and cold. Their footsteps echoed loud. Jiwoo shivered. She wore only the light clothes from the playroom. All the children wore summer clothes. Not clothes for this freezing place. They walked for a long time. Past big doors with strange writing. Past more guards who did not look at them. The air smelled wrong, like chemicals that burned their noses. They stopped at a row of 12 small doors. The big Vexorian had a name badge that said Thulmar. He pointed at the first door. 1 child per cell. You get food 2 times per day. Water is in the wall dispenser. Toilet is in the corner. Do not break anything or you will be punished. Wait, Tae-young said. His voice cracked. Can we stay together? The little ones are scared. Thulmar's 4 eyes looked at him. You are prisoners. You do not ask for things. Get inside. One by one, the soldiers pushed children into cells. Each cell was the same. A hard metal bed. A sink with a cup attached by a chain. A toilet with no door or curtain. Walls that pressed in close. Jiwoo's cell door slammed shut. The bang made her jump. She ran to the door and pressed her face against the small window. She could see Daeun being pushed into the next cell. Daeun, she called. Silence! Thulmar's voice boomed. The next one who speaks gets no dinner. Jiwoo stepped back from the door. She sat on the metal bed. It was so cold it hurt to touch. She wrapped her arms around herself. Her father said crying was okay, but right now she needed to think. Crying could wait. She looked around the cell. Everything was too big. The bed was made for adult aliens, not 8-year-old girls. The sink was too high up. Even the door handle was out of reach. Then she saw something. Near the ceiling, there was a vent. Air came through it, making a soft sound. Jiwoo stood on the bed and put her ear near the wall by the vent. Can you hear me? A whisper came through. Quiet but clear. Hello? Who is that? Jiwoo whispered back. Tae-young, I am 2 cells away. Are you okay? I am cold. I am scared. But yes, I am okay. Good, listen, everyone stay calm. They want us to be scared. Do not give them what they want. Over the next hour, the children learned they could talk through the vents. If they whispered near the openings, their voices traveled through the metal tubes. It was not much, but it meant they were not alone. High above the cells, Warden Crixtal sat in his office watching screens. He was old for a Vexorian. His face had scars from years of dealing with criminals. He drank hot liquid and looked at the human children in their cells. Weak creatures, he said. Look at them, so small, so fragile. His helper, a young Vexorian named Beltox, nodded. I never saw humans before, Warden. They look harmless. They are harmless, Crixtal agreed. That is why their government will pay fast. No species wants their young in a place like this. We will get our money in a few days. Then these pests will leave. What if humans try to negotiate? Crixtal laughed. It sounded like rocks grinding. Let them try. We have the power. The Galactic Council will not help them. This is our space. Our laws. But Crixtal did not know what was happening across the galaxy. He did not know about the message racing to Earth. He did not know what he had started. 3 days passed. The children learned to survive. They made a routine. In the morning, thin gray soup came through slots in the doors. They would whisper encouragement through the vents. Tae-young would ask if everyone was okay. Ji-woo would tell jokes her father taught her. She tried to make the younger ones laugh. Da-un was having trouble. On the 4th day, she started coughing. The cells were too cold for humans. Their light clothes were not enough. Da-un's cough got worse fast. Please, Ji-woo called through her door when Thulmar walked past. My friend is sick. She needs a doctor. Please help her. Thulmar stopped. His 4 eyes looked at her through the window. She will live. Humans are strong enough. She is 7 years old. She needs medicine. She needs to be quiet. You too. Thulmar walked away. Ji-woo pressed her face against the cold wall near the vent. Da-un, can you hear me? A weak cough came back. I am okay, but she was not okay. Tae-young could hear it. They all could. We need to do something, whispered Min-ki from his cell. He was 9 and trying to be brave. Like what? Asked another child. We are locked in. Ji-woo looked at her cell again. Her father's voice spoke in her mind. When something breaks, you fix it. She stood on the bed and looked at the vent closely. It was held by 4 screws, old screws. Rusty ones. She pulled the cup from the sink. The chain was strong, but the cup was metal with sharp edges. She climbed on the bed and used the cup edge to turn the screws. It took an hour, but the first screw moved a little bit. What are you doing? Tae-young whispered through the vent. Trying something. Ji-woo whispered back. Do not tell the others yet. I do not want to give false hope. While Ji-woo worked, something happened far away. On Earth, in a building full of soldiers, a woman named Dr. Hee-jin read a report. She was a scientist who studied aliens. She knew everything about Vexorians. Their culture. Their laws. Their military. When she saw the report about 12 human children at Krell 9, she felt sick. She had visited that station once for research. It was no place for children. It was barely a place for criminals. She picked up her phone. She called Admiral Young-soo, the commander of Earth's 3rd Fleet. Admiral, did you see the report from the colony ship? I did. The Admiral's voice was cold. I am reading it now. Krell 9 is a maximum security prison. The temperature is set for Vexorians. Human children will get sick there. Maybe die. Long silence. Then the Admiral spoke. How long to prepare the fleet? You are going to get them? Dr. Hee-jin, they took our children. What do you think I will do? Back on Station Krell 9, Warden Crixtal got a message. He read it twice. He could not believe the words. Beltox! Come here now. His helper ran over. Yes, Warden? The humans responded to our demands. They are paying the money? No. Crixtal's 4 eyes went narrow. They are sending negotiators. But not diplomats. Military negotiators. A whole fleet of them. Beltox looked confused. A fleet? For 12 children? That seems like too much. Crixtal felt something he had not felt in years. A small cold feeling at the base of his spine. It was not fear yet. But it was close, maybe, he said slowly. Or maybe we do not understand humans like we thought. In her cell, Ji-woo loosened the 2nd screw. 2 more to go. Her fingers hurt and the cup was bent. But she kept working. Through the vent, she heard Da-un coughing. Weaker now. Hold on, Ji-woo whispered. Help is coming, I know it. My dad promised. Hold on. and far away, getting closer every second. 78 human warships cut through space. They were coming. The Vexorians had made a mistake. They took human children. Now they would learn what that meant. The video played on every screen across Earth. 12 faces, 12 human children. Their names appeared under each picture. Jiwoo, Taeyoung, Da-Yun, Min-ki. 8 more names, 8 more scared faces, all of them innocent. News anchor Soo-jin spoke into the camera. Her voice shook with anger. These children were taken 6 days ago from the colony ship. They are now in a Vexorian maximum security prison. A prison made for violent criminals, not for human children. The picture changed. It showed Station Krell 9. Dark, threatening, floating in space. No windows, no warmth. The Vexorians say this is about territorial violations. But this is hostage-taking. This is the imprisonment of children. Soo-jin's eyes filled with tears. Her voice got stronger. And humanity will not accept this. In homes and offices, on ships and stations, billions of humans watched. Parents held their children closer. Grandparents cried. Young people felt anger building in their hearts. Within hours, something amazing happened. Military recruitment centers across Earth were flooded with people. Lines stretched for blocks. Young people, old veterans, even people who never thought about joining the military came forward. I want to volunteer, they said, again and again. I want to help bring them home. In the capital city, Admiral Young-soo stood in a huge hangar. Before him, 78 warships prepared to leave. Engineers did final checks. Weapons were loaded, supplies packed. The Third Fleet was the biggest military force humanity ever put together. Beside the admiral stood General Bora. She was small but had sharp eyes. Everyone knew she completed impossible missions. The Galactic Council refused to help. Bora said quietly, "They say it is an internal Vexorian matter." Of course they did. Young-soo watched another warship power up. They think we are too young, too weak, too scared to fight. Are we scared, Admiral? Young-soo looked at her. His face was hard. I am terrified, General. But those are our children, so we fight anyway. Bora nodded. I am sending Colonel Jae-hyun's team ahead. They will get inside the station before the fleet arrives. If fighting starts, I want our people already there. The Crimson Wolves? Young-soo raised an eyebrow. Your best team? For our children? Yes, only the best. Across the hangar, Colonel Jae-hyun prepared his team. 15 soldiers, each one a specialist, the best of the best. They wore black armor that could hide in shadows. They carried quiet weapons made for precision. Listen, Jae-hyun said to his team, this is not normal. We are not stealing information. We are bringing children home. Scared children, maybe hurt children. That means we stay calm. We stay quiet. We do not fail. A young woman soldier named Hyo-rin spoke. Colonel, I studied Vexorian security systems. I can get us into Krell 9, but getting out with 12 kids will be hard. Then we make it easier, Jae-hyun said. Show me your plan. While the military prepared, something else happened in the Galactic Council halls. Ambassador Kyung-mi from the colony ship demanded an emergency meeting. She stood now in the center of a huge round room. Around her, on floating platforms, sat representatives from 30 alien species. Honored council members, Kyung-mi began. I ask for immediate help with the Vexorian detention of 12 human children. A tall, thin alien with many tentacles spoke. This was Counselor Zephyron from the Thalorian species. Ambassador, we understand your situation, but the Vexorians say your ship violated their space. This is their right to enforce, by imprisoning children. Kyung-mi's voice got louder. The Galactic Council has treaties, laws, protections for young ones of all species. Another council member spoke. It was made of gas and light. Its voice sounded like wind chimes. The Vexorians promise the children are not harmed. They are in a maximum security prison, in cells made for adult criminals. One is sick. Kyung-mi felt her training slip away. Real emotion took over. How is that not harm? Zephyron moved his tentacles. Maybe it was sympathy. Ambassador, we understand you are upset. But we cannot force the Vexorians without good reason. Your government must negotiate. My government is done negotiating. The room went silent. All eyes turned to Kyung-mi. What do you mean? Zephyron asked carefully. Before she could answer, a new voice filled the room. She means humanity is coming. A hologram appeared. Dr. Min Seo, a human psychologist and cultural expert, stood in the center. She insisted on being part of this meeting. The council finally agreed. Dr. Mincio, Zephyrin said, your presence was not requested. I do not care, Mincio said directly. You need to understand what the Vexorians did. You need to understand what will happen now. Explain, the gas being demanded. Mincio took a breath. Humans evolved with strong protective instincts. We bond with our young very deeply. We form families. When a human child is threatened, it triggers responses from millions of years ago. Responses that override logic, override fear, override everything. Many species protect their young, Zephyrin said. Not like humans, Mincio insisted. Let me show you data. In human history, parents fought impossible battles to save children. They lifted vehicles weighing tons. They fought predators 3 times bigger. They walked through fire. We have a saying on Earth. Never get between a human and their child. She showed images, videos from Earth's past. Parents saving children from disasters. Teachers protecting students during attacks. Strangers risking death for kids they did not know. This instinct does not stop at blood family. Mincio continued. Humans extend it to all children. The entire species treats young ones as precious, as worth dying for. You speak of instinct, the gas being said. But surely rational minds overcome instinct. Mincio laughed. Not a happy sound. Can you choose to stop breathing? Can you stop your heart from beating? This is that deep, that basic. Zephyrin's tentacles moved in confusion, but the Vexorian military is strong. They defended their territory for centuries. Surely humanity knows they cannot just take the children by force. That is exactly what I am telling you, Mincio said. Humanity does not care about the odds. They do not care about the cost. The Vexorians took human children. Every human everywhere sees those 12 kids as family. Do you understand? Earth is not sending negotiators. They are sending an army. An army? The gas being sounded almost amused. Humanity has been in space for barely a century. They have neither the strength nor experience to— 78 warships, Ambassador Kyung-mi interrupted. The Third Fleet. Every military vessel Earth could gather. They left 3 days ago. The room erupted in noise. Alien voices overlapped in dozens of languages. Zephyrin raised many tentacles for silence. This is madness. The Vexorians will destroy them. Maybe, Mincio agreed. Probably. But humans will keep coming. More fleets. More ships. More soldiers. They will throw themselves at Vexorian space until the children come home or there are no humans left. That is what you do not understand. This is not about strategy. This is not about winning. This is about family. She pulled up one last image. A human parent holding a child. The love on their face was clear even to aliens. We do not abandon our children, Mincio said softly. Ever. The Vexorians made a mistake. They thought they could use human young as bargaining chips. They thought we would calculate costs. They were wrong. Far away at the edge of Vexorian space, sensors detected something. A massive energy signature. Getting closer. Fast. On Station Krell 9, Warden Crickstal got the report. His 4 eyes went wide reading the numbers. 78 ships, he whispered. They brought 78 warships. For 12 children. Beltox looked at the scans. Warden, this is more firepower than we saw in 50 years. What are they planning? Crickstal felt that cold feeling again. Stronger now, real fear. I think they plan to take their children back. By any means. On the lead warship of the Third Fleet, Admiral Youngsu studied displays. Station Krell 9 appeared on his screen. Around it, Vexorian defense stations powered up weapons. Admiral, we are receiving a message from Vexorian Defense Command, his officer reported. Put it through. A Vexorian military commander appeared. Human fleet, you are approaching Vexorian territory. Turn back now or you will be fired upon. Youngsu leaned forward. I will say this once. Return our children. Now, unharmed. And we leave peacefully. You are in no position to make demands. I am in every position, Youngsu said quietly. I am a parent. And you took our kids. He cut the transmission. He opened a new channel. One that broadcast to every ship. To Colonel Jae-hyun's team. To Earth, to everyone listening. All ships prepare for combat. We are going in. The fleet accelerated. 78 human warships pushed forward into Vexorian space. Behind them, Earth held its breath. Ahead, an alien prison held 12 terrified children. The galaxy was about to learn a lesson, written in fire and steel and determination. Never take human children. The human fleet appeared from hyperspace like thunder. 78 warships appeared at once. Their engines burned bright against the darkness. At the center, the flagship called Indomitable led the formation. On its bridge, Admiral Young-Soo watched Vexorian defense stations scramble to respond. "Status report," he commanded. "Vexorian fleet is forming up," his officer replied. "Count is 35 military vessels, 20 support ships. Defense stations are powering weapons." Young-Soo nodded slowly. The Vexorians had numbers. They had home territory. On paper, this was their fight to win. But paper did not know what those 12 children meant to every human in his fleet. "Open a channel. All frequencies. I want everyone to hear this." The communications officer worked fast. "Channel open, Admiral. Broadcasting to Vexorian Command, Station Krell 9, and the Galactic Council." Young-Soo stood. His voice was calm, cold, final. "Vexorian Military Command. This is Admiral Young-Soo of the United Earth Fleet. You are holding 12 human children prisoner. You have 1 hour to return them unharmed and healthy. 1 hour if you agree we leave peacefully. If you do not, we take them back. Choose." On Station Krell 9, Warden Crixtel listened with all 4 eyes wide. Around him, his staff looked nervous. Even the brutal guard Thulmar seemed uncertain. 1 hour, Crixtel repeated. "They give us 1 hour." "Warden," his helper Beltok said carefully. "Maybe we should consider their offer. This fleet could destroy the station and show weakness to these young species." Crixtel's pride won over his fear. "Never call High Command. Tell them we need help." But what Crixtel did not know was that help would come too late, because while he made his choice, something else was happening. Far below the station, in the maintenance area that processed waste and recycled air, a small ship moved silently through shadows. It was painted black. Its engines ran cold. On sensors, it looked like floating garbage. Inside that ship, Colonel Jae-hyun and his team prepared. They wore stealth suits that bent light. Each soldier carried silent weapons made for precision. For rescuing hostages. "Hyorin, status on security systems," Jae-hyun whispered. The intelligence officer worked on her computer. Lines of code scrolled down her screen. "I am in their network. The children are in detention block 7. There is a maintenance shaft running parallel to the cells. We can access it through waste processing. Cameras? I can loop the feeds for 15 minutes. Maybe 20. After that, they will know we are here." Jae-hyun looked at his team. 15 pairs of eyes looked back, ready, determined. "Then we have 20 minutes to get in, get the kids, and get out. Hyorin, you come with me. The rest secure our exit. If this gets loud, we hold the shaft until the Admiral blows a hole in this station." A big soldier named Dong-woo grinned. "With pleasure, sir." The small ship docked with a maintenance port. It was made for repair robots, not humans. But Jae-hyun's team made it work. They moved through passages barely wide enough for shoulders, past pipes hissing with chemicals, past machinery groaning and rumbling. Back in the Galactic Council chambers, chaos filled the room. The council met in emergency session. Councilor Zephyrin tried to maintain order, but alien voices shouted over each other in panic. The humans brought a fleet. "This is war. Someone must stop this before it gets worse." Dr. Min-seo stood in the center of the madness. Calm as stone, Ambassador Kyung-mi stood beside her. "I warned you," Min-seo said quietly. "I told you this would happen." Zephyron's tentacles moved in distress. "Dr. Min-seo, your fleet must stop. If they attack, the Vexorians will respond. This could start a galaxy-wide war." "Then tell the Vexorians to release the children." "It is not that simple. There are protocols, procedures, diplomatic channels." "Counselor," Min-seo's voice grew hard. "You still do not listen. Humans do not care about protocols. We care about those 12 kids. Every single one. Do you know their names?" Zephyron hesitated. "I do not. Ji-woo, 8 years old. Loves building things with her father. Tae-young, 10 years old. Wants to be a doctor like his mother. Da-yoon, 7 years old. She is sick right now because your Vexorian prison is too cold." Min-seo's voice cracked. "Should I go on? Should I tell you about all 12? Their dreams? Their families?" The council chamber went silent. "That is the difference," Min-seo continued. "You see numbers. Diplomatic incidents, procedures, humans see children. Our children. And we will burn this galaxy before we leave them in that prison." On the flagship, the deadline approached. 59 minutes had passed. Admiral Young-Soo watched the clock count down. Around him, his crew sat ready, weapons armed, shields charged, ready for war. 1 minute remaining, the tactical officer announced. Young-Soo opened the fleet-wide channel. All ships, this is the Admiral. Whatever happens next, remember why we are here. For Jiwoo, for Tae-young, for Da-eun, for all of them. They are counting on us. Do not let them down. On Station Krell 9 in the detention block, the children heard explosions far away. Jiwoo pressed her ear against the wall near the vent. Did you hear that? She whispered. Something is happening. Tae-young whispered back.
Stay ready.
Stay calm. Daeun coughed weakly in her cell. She had gotten worse. The cold turned to fever. She could barely sit up. Jiwoo, are they coming? Is it help? Yes, Jiwoo said. She wanted to believe it. She needed to believe it. They are coming. My dad promised. Remember? In the maintenance shaft, Jae-hyun's team reached the detention block. Through a metal grate, they saw the corridor outside the cells. 2 Vexorian guards patrolled back and forth. Hyorin, can you override the cell locks from here? Jae-hyun whispered. She plugged into a wall panel. Working on it. These systems are old. Weak firewalls. I can crack them. But once I do, every alarm on this level will scream. Then we move fast. On my mark. Back on the flagship, the deadline expired. The hour was up. The Vexorians made their choice. Admiral Young-Soo took a deep breath. Then he gave the order that would change everything. All ships weapons free. Target defense stations first. Disable if possible. Do not destroy. These people are fools but not monsters. Once stations are down, we go for Krell 9. The fleet opened fire. Energy beams cut through space. Human missiles streaked toward Vexorian defense platforms. The space around Station Krell 9 lit up like a lightning storm. The Vexorians fired back. Their weapons were powerful, accurate. 2 human ships took heavy damage in the first seconds, but the humans kept coming, kept firing, kept pushing forward. On Earth, billions watched the battle on screens. Parents held children close. Prayers whispered in 100 languages. Everyone hoped. Everyone waited. In the detention block, alarms started screaming. Red lights flashed. The sound was deafening. They are here. Tae-young shouted through the vent. Everyone get ready. The cell doors suddenly clicked open. All 12 at once, Jiwoo stumbled out. She saw other children coming out, confused and scared. Daeun could barely stand. Minki caught her before she fell. This way, now, a voice called from down the corridor. The children turned. A human soldier in black armor came from a maintenance shaft. More soldiers followed. They had guns, but their faces were kind. Worried. Human. We are here to take you home, Colonel Jae-hyun said. He knelt to their level. But we need to move fast. Can you run? Da-eun cannot, Jiwoo said quickly. She is sick. Dongwoo did not hesitate. He scooped Daeun up like she weighed nothing. I have her. Let us move. The guards, Thulmar and others came running. They saw the children being taken. They raised weapons. Jae-hyun's team fired back. Energy bolts filled the corridor with light. The soldiers formed a protective wall around the children. Go, 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 Jae-hyun shouted. They ran. The children, still in thin clothes, followed the soldiers through passages they never saw. Behind them, more guards came. More weapons fired. But Jae-hyun's team was the best for a reason. They moved like water, flowing around obstacles, covering each other. Above the station, the space battle grew intense. 3 Vexorian defense stations went dark, disabled by human fire. But the cost was high. 5 human ships were badly damaged. 1 was evacuating its crew to other vessels. Admiral Young-Soo watched with a stone face. Status on ground team? They have the children, sir. Moving to extraction point. All ships cover the station's lower docking bay. I do not care what it costs. That is where our people come out. The fleet changed formation. Half the ships broke off to shield the station's lower section. They took heavy fire doing it. But they held the line. In the Galactic Council chamber, Counselor Zephron watched battle feeds with growing horror. Dr. Min Seo stood beside him. Her face was wet with tears. They are dying, Zephron whispered. Human soldiers are dying. Their ships are being destroyed. All for 12 children. Yes, Min Seo said simply. Now you understand. Now you see what we tried to tell you. This is what humanity means when we say family. Zephron's tentacles moved in deep respect. Maybe fear. Maybe awe. I never saw anything like this. Such devotion, such sacrifice, then remember it, Minseo said. Remember it well. And make sure the galaxy remembers too. The maintenance shaft opened onto a small docking bay in the lowest level of Station Krell 9. Colonel Jae-hyun's team burst through with the children surrounded by a protective circle of soldiers. Smoke filled the air. Sparks flew from damaged systems. The battle above had reached even here. There! Hyorin pointed to a small transport ship waiting with engines running. That is our ride. They ran across the bay. Energy bolts hit walls around them as Vexorian security tried to stop them. But Dongwu and the other soldiers fired back, never breaking stride. In Dongwu's arms, Da-un coughed weakly. Almost there, little one, Dongwu said gently. Stay with me. Jiwoo ran as fast as her legs could move. Beside her, Tae-young helped Min-ki, who had twisted his ankle. The other children followed, scared but determined. They survived the prison. They would survive this too. They reached the transport. The door was open. A pilot, Captain Sora, waved frantically from the cockpit. Get in! Everyone in! The soldiers lifted the children into the ship one by one. Gentle hands despite the chaos. Despite the danger. Each child was precious. Each one had to make it home, all aboard, Jae-hyun called. He was last to enter, firing back at Vexorian guards as he climbed inside. Go now. The transport lifted off. The docking bay doors were closing, trying to trap them. But Sora was an excellent pilot. She pushed the engines hard, threading through the narrowing gap with no space to spare. They shot out into space, into the middle of the battle. Energy beams filled the darkness like deadly lightning. Ships exploded. Others burned. It was beautiful and terrible. Hold on, Sora called back. This will get rough. Above them, Admiral Youngsu saw the transport on his sensors. His heart clenched tight with worry, loosened slightly. All ships, the children are out. Cover that transport! Nothing gets through. 10 human warships immediately changed course. They formed a protective shell around the tiny transport. Vexorian fire hammered against their shields. One ship, the Guardian, took a direct hit to its engines. It started spinning, losing power. But even as the Guardian fell, its captain gave one last order. Divert all remaining power to forward shields. Protect that transport. The dying ship positioned itself between the transport and the Vexorian fleet. It absorbed shot after shot meant for the children. When it finally exploded, it bought enough time for the transport to reach safety. Inside the transport, the children felt the ship dock with the flagship. They heard magnetic clamps lock into place. The door opened and warm air rushed in. Real warmth. Earth-normal temperature. A man stood in the doorway. He wore a gray engineering uniform. His face was dirty from work and wet with tears. When he saw Jiwoo, he made a sound that was half laugh, half sob. Dad, Jiwoo screamed. She ran to him. Junho caught her in his arms, holding her so tight she could barely breathe. But she did not care. She was home. She was safe. All around the docking bay, similar scenes happened. Parents who waited on the flagship for days rushed forward. Mothers grabbed their children. Fathers wept openly. Families reunited in pure joy. Tae-young's mother, the medical officer, was there. She dropped her medical bag and pulled him into a hug. My boy, my brave boy. Mom Da-un is really sick. She needs help now. The medical officer released Tae-young and ran to where Dongwu still held Da-un. The little girl's eyes were closed. Her breathing was shallow. A full medical team surrounded her immediately. Get her to sickbay. Now. The medical officer's training took over. They rushed Da-un away on a floating stretcher. Her mother and father ran alongside, holding her small hands. Admiral Young-soo came down to the docking bay. He walked among the reunited families. His face showed relief but also sorrow. They had the children back. But the cost was high. Admiral, his tactical officer called through his communicator. The Vexorian fleet is pulling back. They request a ceasefire. Young-soo closed his eyes for a moment. Granted. Hold position. Weapons stay ready but cease firing. Across the battle space, the fighting stopped. Human ships held their positions. Vexorian vessels retreated to safe distance. In the sudden silence, both sides counted their losses. The humans lost one ship completely. 7 more were badly damaged. 43 soldiers died in the fighting. Dozens more were injured. All for 12 children. But they would do it again. Every single human in that fleet would do it again without hesitation. On Station Krell 9, Warden Crixtal sat in his office with his head in his hands. All 4 eyes stared at reports. The humans came. They fought. They took their children back by force. And the Vexorian military, which defended their territory for centuries, could not stop them. I did not understand, he whispered. I did not know, his communicator buzzed. It was Vexorian High Command. The voice was cold with fury. Warden Krickstall, you are relieved of command. You will be transported to the capital to face charges. You brought shame and disaster to our people. Krickstall did not argue. He earned this. He made a terrible mistake. In the Galactic Council chambers, an emergency session continued. But the tone changed completely. Where before there was dismissal of the human threat, now there was shocked respect. And fear, Councillor Zephyron addressed the assembly. We witnessed something today we did not think possible. A species barely a century in space fought one of the oldest military powers, and won, not through superior technology, not through numbers, but through determination to protect their young. The gas being who was so dismissive before spoke hesitantly. The humans lost ships, lost lives, for 12 children. This is not logical. No, Dr. Mincio said from her platform. It is not logical. It is love, it is family. It is the fundamental core of what makes us human. You cannot calculate it. You cannot negotiate with it. You can only respect it. Zephyron's tentacles moved in agreement. I propose new galactic laws, protection specifically for children of all species, and a clear rule. Human young are never to be detained, imprisoned, or held hostage. Under any circumstances, ever. Agreed, said the gas being quickly. Others in the chamber nodded or made their species signs of agreement. Ambassador Kyung-mi spoke. The human government wants reparations, not money. We want territorial concessions. The Vexorians claimed that space route was theirs. We want it recognized as neutral space, forever. Granted, Zephyron said. I will draft the resolution myself. Anything else? Yes, Kyung-mi said quietly. We want the galaxy to remember this. We want it taught in every alien military academy, every diplomatic school, every history class. What happens when you take human children? Zephyron looked at her with all his eyes. Ambassador, I promise you, the galaxy will never forget. Back on the flagship in the medical bay, Daun opened her eyes. Her parents sat on each side of her bed holding her hands. The doctors treated her fever, given her warm blankets. Real food, medicine, Mom, Daun whispered. Dad? We are here, baby, her mother said, tears streaming. We are here. You are safe now. Where is Jiwoo? I am here. Jiwoo appeared in the doorway with her father. She ran to the bed. You are okay. You will be okay. Daun smiled weakly. You promised. You said help was coming. My dad always keeps promises, Jiwoo said. And Earth keeps promises too. Over the next days, the story spread across the galaxy. News reports showed the battle, the rescue, the reunion. But more importantly, they showed why it happened. Dr. Hai-Jin, the scientist who first warned about human protective instincts, published her complete study. It was downloaded millions of times by alien species trying to understand these strange, fierce humans. One section became particularly famous. Humans bond with their young in ways that override all other considerations. To threaten a human child is to make an enemy of every human everywhere. They will cross any distance, pay any price, fight any battle. This is not weakness to exploit. It is strength to respect, and a line never to cross. In alien military academies across the galaxy, new courses appeared. Human cultural studies became required learning. Officers learned about human families, about parents and children, about bonds that could not be broken. Years later, Tae-young became a doctor just like his mother predicted. But he specialized in alien biology. He wanted to help build bridges between species, to make sure no one ever misunderstood humans again. Jiwoo followed her father into engineering. She designed new types of ships, faster, safer, better at protecting the families they carried. Daon became a teacher. She traveled to alien worlds teaching their children about Earth, about humanity, and about the day the galaxy learned an important lesson. The 12 children, now grown, stayed in contact their whole lives. They shared something that bonded them forever. They called themselves the Krell 12 after the station where they were held. They met every year on the anniversary of their rescue, and they always said the same toast, to families, to the humans who came for us, and to never forgetting what we fight for. Captain Sora, who piloted the rescue transport, eventually became a high-ranking officer in the new Galactic Security Force. The Council created it after the incident, designed to prevent such mistakes. She made sure every officer, human and alien, understood the lessons of Krell 9.